Hi there, this is Shrikant Dasari. So in this lesson, we are going to learn about the various ways to define and declare variables in JavaScript. Okay, so let me launch the IDE. So here we are using Visual Web Developer 2005 Express Edition, so which is very old one. So already I have created a project under the name JavaScript Vars here. Okay, so which contains nothing but just HTML plain HTML5 template here. So if you run this page in the browser, so it opens in the Chrome. So here we are using Google Chrome as our default browser, which displays nothing but just an H1 heading tag here. Okay, so for this purpose, so let's create a new JavaScript external file here. Okay, so in the last lesson we have seen how to declare, how to create a new external JavaScript file, something like this vars.js. Okay, so we have a plain JavaScript file, external JavaScript file. So we know how to link this file in our web page here. So if you go to your script tag and if you say source is equal to vars.js. Okay, so in this way you can link that external file to your JavaScript in the JavaScript tag in our HTML page. Okay, so we are doing this because so this is always a good practice to take out all your JavaScript coding into a separate file, such that the HTML has only the content. Okay, the styling and the JavaScript code, it's always a good practice to make an external separate files and link them specifically inside the tags here. Okay, so let's go to our vars.js file here, so which has nothing but just plain simple text. Let's go to full screen here. So declaring a variable in JavaScript is done like this, so using a var keyword. Okay, so there are certain specific rules in every programming language to declare a particular variable. Okay, the same thing applies to JavaScript. Okay, so why do we need a variable? So the variable holds it is the most basic building block of any programming language. Okay, so variable holds some data. So the sole purpose of any program is to process the data and display some results here. Okay, so for that purpose we need a variable, which is a very basic building block. So to declare a variable in JavaScript programming language, we intend to use var keyword here. Okay, so var followed by the name of the variable. So here let's say the name of the variable is myInt. Okay, so myInt is equal to 1. So here using the var keyword, I have declared a variable named myInt, and I am just storing an integer variable 1 here. Okay, so this is a perfectly valid variable. So you can save that one, because if you run your web page, so in your Chrome, okay, so if you go to, in Chrome we have a good feature. So we have an option like to see the JavaScript console. Okay, so see how the JavaScript is getting executed inside the console here. So if you go to right click on your web browser Chrome and click inspect element here, so you have an option here, console here. Okay, so here if there is any no news, that means that it is a good news. Okay, so if there is an error in your JavaScript code, so it shows you with an error here. Okay, so it displays an error here. So if there is no error, everything is going well here. That means if you say so myInt here, it just gives you the value of the integer variable here. Okay, so this is one good thing. Okay, so in the same way, so you can have the variable. So you can have a variable in a camel case. Okay, so the adding letter is in a small case, and you can have the next word in capital case. So this is called camel case, which is very common in all programming languages. So you can have a combination of small and big and numbers. Okay, so all these things comes under valid variable names. So let's have a small comment here. So let's say it's a valid variable names here. Okay, so again, if you run your page in the Chrome, and if you go to your index.html page, and if you go to your inspect element, so go to your console, no news is good news here. Okay, so again, if you say my color, so if you observe here, the IntelliSense is spotting immediately So whatever the variables are starting with my here. So if you select color and you press enter, you get the value that is stored inside my color, which is right here. Okay. So not only this, your variable can also start with an underscore or a dollar. Okay. So dollar is specifically used in JavaScript for some special purpose. So don't observe in other programming languages starting a variable name with dollar. Okay, so this is specific for JavaScript and some programming languages. Okay, so you can say something like this: dollar, sorry, underscore my name is equal to, you can have my name here, Srikant Dasari. Okay, so in the same way you can have, so you can start your variable name with the dollar symbol. Okay, so you can say my name too. Okay, so like again you can say the same name, so else you can have a different name here. So since this is a string, it should be wrapped under double quotes here. Okay, so sooner we are going to introduce ourselves to data types in JavaScript. Okay, so then we will learn about the various kinds of data types. We have so many data types in JavaScript, like numericals, strings, boolean, null, undefined. Okay, so we have lots of different kinds of variable names, data types. So we'll learn that as we go deep into the data types lesson here. Okay, so in the same way, as you have observed, you can start your data variable name with an underscore or a dollar, so whatever. Okay, so also you can have a combination. So until now, if you want to, you can run and see in your browser, so if everything is going well or not. So if you go to inspect element, and if you go to console, no news is good news here. Okay, so whenever you have an invalid variable name, or if you have a bug or error in your JavaScript code, it automatically displays here. So soon we are going to see that one also. So now, and also we have learned that JavaScript variable is a combination of, it should always start with a letter, and it can have digits followed by a letter. Okay, so you can have something like this: my name too is equal to something like this, Jeffrey Way. Okay, so this is also a perfectly valid variable name. So, okay, so if you have any doubt, you can run it in your browser and view it and see. Okay, so if you go to inspect element, console, so no news is good news here. So if you say my name, the IntelliSense spots immediately, so you get Jeffrey Way here. Okay, so if you click on, if you put that variable name in the console and if you press enter, you get the value stored inside here. Okay, so in that way, so all these things comes under perfectly valid variable names here. Okay, so underscore and dollar need not be only at the beginning. Okay, so you can use this underscore and dollar in between the variable names also. Okay, so something like this, where first name underscore last is equal to, again I'm giving repeatedly my name here, Srikant, sorry. Okay, so underscore can be in the beginning, and so in the same way you can have dollar also. Say another stupid variable name, money dollar value is equal to some 45. Okay, something, so whatever you want, relevant variable names here. Okay, so underscore can be also, the sole purpose of underscore is that it is used to join so two different parts of a variable name here. Okay, so here if you observe the first and last underscore, the full name. Okay, so you can have a single variable name like full name, or you can have something like this, first name, sorry, misspelled here. So first name underscore last is equal to Srikant Dasari, and the same way you can have a dollar in between the two variables. Okay, so also this is not a very bad variable name, so you never observe this kind of variable name even though you are allowed to do. So again, if you run this script inside your browser, so go to inspect element, so you need not get any bad news here. Okay, so everything goes well. So if you want to check your variables, so money underscore value, so you get 45. So in the same way you can have first name and last name, so you get Srikant here. Okay, so in the same way So there are also bad ways for invalid variable names in JavaScript, so which are very dangerous when you are programming. So you need to have some idea regarding so how to use those invalid variable, or how not to use those kind of variable names here. Okay, so if you say var, so as we have learned that the variable name in JavaScript should always start with an alphabet or a letter. Okay, so violating that rule, and if you go against that, and if you say something like this, one mind, something like this, okay, so you get a bad news here, or else you get an error displayed in your console. Okay, so if you go to Chrome, run your page in the Chrome, and you go to inspect element here, go to console. So if you observe here, it says uncaught syntax error, unexpected token illegal. Okay, so which something means that you're not allowed to do this kind of variable name inside your JavaScript coding here. Okay, so in the same way, let's comment it out. We know that it's an invalid variable, so we do not have errors in our program. So in the same way, you're not allowed to have other than underscore or dollar in your variable names. Okay, so if you say something like this, at or at my name, so it's equal to Srikanth. Okay, so if you say something like this, it's also a bad variable name, so it also reports as an error. So in JavaScript console here. Okay, so unexpected token. Okay, unexpected token, that means you're not allowed to have at symbol in while defining the variable names. Okay, so in the same way, you're also not allowed to have percent or whatever, so other than whatever the variable, other than whatever the symbol other than underscore and dollar. Okay, so again, if you say something like this, so again it reports an error, but a different error here. No, okay, so if you see it in your Chrome, so all the time I am running the web page directly from so if you observe, I am in the vars.js file here. Okay, so that's the reason if I run from a Visual Web Developer Express Edition using this run button here, so it's displaying the whole list of files in my root directory here. Okay, in my project directory. So that's the reason every time I am selecting index.html and running that. So otherwise we can go to our index.html page, and then we can run this page directly in the Chrome here. Okay, so this web developer lacks this feature. Okay, so if we use the advanced IDEs like NetBeans or other advanced IDEs, so there is a capability to run directly this JavaScript file, and automatically it links back to the HTML script tag, and it displays our HTML file here. Okay, so since this is an older web browser, and also we are just using it for learning purpose, not in a production or development environment here, so good practice to go to index.html file, so where you have a script tag linked to our vars.js file, and then you can run your run this page in your Chrome, and go to inspect element and console. So again you get an error here. Okay, so if you go to your vars.js, let's comment out the previous one here, and let's go to our Chrome and reload our page. So you get a different error here. Okay, so uncaught syntax error, unexpected token, percent here. Okay, so here the percent is not allowed inside your variable names, as at symbol is also not allowed. The only symbol you need to have other than a letter is a dollar and an underscore here. Okay, so in the same way, you're also not allowed to have keywords. Okay, so keywords have some special meaning in every programming language. Like, so not allowed to have var for is equal to something string here. Okay, so not allowed to do something like this. So again it reports an error in JavaScript console here. Go to your index.html and go to inspect element console. Okay, unexpected token for. Okay, so for has some specific meaning in JavaScript. Okay, so it is a reserved word or keyword. So if you want to check out what are the other reserved words that has been in JavaScript, okay, so you can go to Google and type JavaScript reserved words. Okay, so it leads to a developer.mozilla file here. Okay, so it displays all the reserved words. Okay, so you are not allowed to use all these words in your JavaScript coding variable names. Okay, so you're not allowed to use because they have some specific meaning already embedded with that keyword. Okay, so there if you use that, again you fall into an error. Okay, so not allowed to use reserved word. It should not start with an number, and you're not allowed to have other than underscore or dollar as special symbols in your variable names. Okay, so this is the basic stuff about the various ways to declare a good variable name, valid variable name in JavaScript programming language. So see you in the next lesson. Goodbye.